Hey, everybody. I'm Evan Happel. I'm with Boss Talks, and we have a great show for you as we round out 2024. This will be the last show next week and thereafter. Just going to take a break, enjoy the holidays, let you enjoy the holidays. But to round out the year, we have a great guest. We have Darcy Bixby, and she's out of the Dallas Fort Worth area. She's with Valiant and Residential, and she is a regional director of operations with them. I actually came across her over Facebook. I'm not really sure how we got initially connected, but we are connected. And I started seeing her content and just the positivity that she was putting out into the world. And also just started noticing what she's doing in her professional everyday life additionally. But we'll get into all the things that she's doing for both Valiant, but also just in her personal life. Like, what makes her tick, what makes her who she is, what makes her authentically herself. So it'll be a great conversation when we get to it. But before we do, again, Evan Happel with Community Boss. We have a great solution for you when it comes to parking, amenities, and mapping. We have a solution called Parking Boss, you may have heard of. But if you have any issues with your guest parking or anything like that, you need to bring some, peace to the parking lot or the community you have under your care, reach out to me. We can definitely do that and make things better for you, maybe generate some revenue as well. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. But today it's about Darcy. So let's get to it. Darcy, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thanks for being the last show of the year. I mean, you brought the hype. You made a hype video. I mean, I love it. I hear Birdie on the shoulder said that we're going to do a little dance at some point, and I love that.
I'm so excited that you're open to it. And I didn't know until you said it that I was the last of 2024. So yeah.
Yeah, 115, real round number, I feel like. Great way to go out with a bang and have a little party and fun as we end 2024.
Well, so cool. So excited to be here. So honored to be here. You are officially one of my new besties.
Oh,
so
I
of
love
course,
that.
so of course we're going to have to get you into dancing today.
Okay. Yes. And we'll kind of shed some light on what we're even talking about. Why would we dance? I mean, why wouldn't we dance? Brings a smile to your face, brings some positivity and energy into and you shared some things about that, which I'd love to get on to at some point. But yeah, why wouldn't you dance and smile, right? So but before we get into anything more and about you a little bit more, we have a few questions I like to ask. First off, when it comes to parking, us being a provider of parking solutions and such, I like to ask my guests, what's their, a story, a tip, an experience around parking in their years of doing community or property management. What is it that they would like to share with the world regarding that?
Well, okay, in regards to parking, I have been in this wonderful industry for close to 30 years, and I don't have so much of a story about parking as much as what did we ever do without you guys? Like with our what did we do? How did we manage parking before supplier partners like you guys and before all of our partnerships? I don't remember, and I don't want to remember. I just know that
well, I know
it manages a problem that we definitely appreciate that help in managing that problem, because when someone gets their car towed, regardless if they were at fault or for whatever reason, we've heard every reason. We could write a book on all the reasons as to why they parked there when they weren't supposed to, but the partnership that we have to where we can kind of pass that off or have that help in that relationship, because the level and the shock that someone has when they come in your office. I understand it. It's very shocking to see your car gone, and
Right.
to know that we can pick up the phone or connect them with whoever our supplier partner is so helpful. I don't know what we did before.
Yeah.
Do not
Well,
remember.
what we did before, and some people still do, is either nothing and they're just out there blindly towing cars and getting really upset customers, or they have, you know, these generic hang tags and things that they give people, spreadsheets of license plates and things like that. But all of that is very, very, very cumbersome and not super accurate and very hard. So uh, technology is a friend. I will say that much.
For
Most,
sure. And parking is an incredible source of income.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
can be.
even if you don't have cover parking or garage parking, that spray paint a number on the parking lot and you've got a income revenue source. So it
Absolutely.
definitely is great to have a partnership with someone to help manage it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I think a lot of people forget, you know, it's almost like a sunk cost, most people think. It's like, what? It's just, we have to have it, but what are we doing with it? Well, make some money off it. I don't know. Yeah, for sure.
Facts.
That's right. And so thanks for answering. And then next question, when it comes to your music, your groove, your go-to song, maybe playlist, what do you go to get you going? And I know you have something every day. So what is your go-to?
You know, I love music so much in all kinds. You've seen that meme where it says if somebody were to judge you by your Spotify or your iTunes list, I mean, it is everything from Tupac to Christian music to country music. Love me some country music, but it changes so often. I mean, it changes from morning to night. That I do have it. I do have an iTunes list that I daily listen to, but there's so much variety to it that let's see. I'm gonna pull up what my song is gonna be when I get in the car this evening. Oh, guess what it is? This is a good song. I really like it. When I get in my car to go home today, the next song is going to be Girl Crush by Little Big Town.
Okay.
And I love that song. It's a good one.
Is that one that gets you going and makes you dance a little bit?
I do. I try to keep both hands on the wheel, Evan, when I'm driving. But I do. If you've ever come up beside me on the highway, I'm usually belting out a song. Someone called me the other day, and I didn't know that when you answer the phone, they can kind of hear the song before.
Oh,
And he
oh, okay.
said, "What are you listening to?" I'm like, "Did you hear that? It was the Dixie Chicks."
Man, I haven't heard the Dixie Chicks in a while.
Well, they're
That
called Dixie. The what? What?
Chicks?
The Chicks. They're called the Chicks now.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
But yeah, they're one of my favorites too.
yeah. Yeah, and you're from Dallas. I'm sure. I mean, country music is everywhere and popular everywhere, but even more so, I'm sure, in your neck of the woods.
Yes, it is.
Yep. All right. And then finally, when it comes to your caffeinated beverage of choice, what's your go-to?
Oh, it's got to be coffee. So coffee, I was telling you earlier that I'm a morning person, so I really hope I can make it through this without boring anybody. But I have my best thoughts in the morning. But like, I want to say 5 cups of coffee, starting at around 4:30 a.m.
Nice.
Now this is water. I wish that I could do afternoon coffee, and I'm jealous of people that can, but I
Will
have
you
to
not
cut the
sleep?
coffee off.
Yeah, I'll stay up all night if I don't cut myself off. I have to have like I cannot have more than probably 2 cups of coffee, and it can't go past 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Otherwise, I'm I'm awake all night long then.
In bed like this.
Yeah, exactly. No sleeping today, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, got to cut it off. All right, well, thank you. Do you put anything in that coffee or is it black?
Oh, creamer galore. Half creamer, half coffee. So when I say 5 cups of coffee, it's probably actually 1 cup.
Okay.
4 cups creamer. I
Mm,
love me
okay.
some French vanilla creamer.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have the kind that's like super sweet, or do you get the like nut pods where it's like no flavor? I can't handle those. Those are gross. But
Super
anyways,
sweet.
okay.
I'm a sugar. I'm a
Plus
lover of
sugar?
sugar.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a lover of sugar. It's not good for
Yeah.
you. It's not
Yeah.
good for you. I'm not promoting it in any way.
Sugar is hard. Like it is so addictive. You don't even realize how you're craving it, you know? So it's tough. So you got to put it in your coffee. Got to give you that extra zing, you know? For sure. All right. Well, thanks for answering the questions. You made it through. Now we talk about you. I mean, I think you can handle talking about you. I mean, you are the expert on that topic. So, but I'm really interested to know more about you because we only have talked one other time, and otherwise, I just see you having a good time on Facebook. So, I first of all just want to know kind of your origin story and getting into property management, and then eventually, I'd love for you to just share what you do in your personal life to just bring a smile to other people.
Well, okay, so property management, it happened as a fluke like it did for many people. It wasn't something that I was looking for. It kind of found me. I was waiting tables and someone that I worked with, she managed a property during the day and worked at a restaurant at night. And she came up to me after we worked together a while and told me that I should really look into that as a career. And I was shortly thereafter was moving to Colorado. So met her in Dallas, but I had already planned to move to Colorado. And when I moved to Colorado, I started interviewing, and I had to interview. Okay, so this was back in the 90s. I had to interview 3 times. I had 3 interviews for a leasing agent position, and I interviewed with the manager, her boss, and then the highest up in the company. And it was serious. I mean, it was
Yeah.
serious stuff to get hired as a leasing agent. And I just remember being so excited to get that job offer and just to have this incredible career. And fast forward almost 30 years, and I just am so grateful. I raised 3 children, part of it as a single parent, and I just cannot say enough things about our industry and what a blessing that career was for me.
Yeah. And for a long period, you were in property management on site, then you pivoted to a regional that you held that role for quite a while, right?
Yeah, so I've been in a prior to this position that I'm in right now. I was a regional manager for 15 years.
Okay.
And so I had multi-sites, but I never lost the love of being on site and being with not just the manager who I directly oversee, but the whole team. And just, keeping relevance, keeping the focus always on, they really are our reason. The corporate office, I'm not just saying it like to say it as that's what we all say. To me, I really truly believe, and I've shown it, that on-site teams are the reason. We are their support and they are the reason. And so I've just always wanted to be more with them, not only just there, but constantly learning from them, constantly keeping relevance to the way to the to what's actually happening on site so that I can better support them. Because if we don't really truly know what they're going through, we cannot support them. We can
Yep.
say that we're supportive, but if you don't know what their challenges are, you can't support those challenges. And so I just always, and I know my love of people plays into that. I know that because I love being around people and because I love learning about people and their stories and what they go through inside and outside of work, that translates into wanting to be around those team members. But I just have always held so much respect for our front lines that are, especially post-pandemic, especially after watching what they did through a national pandemic. My respect level is so high for them. So
Yeah.
hey,
And
shout out to the people making it happen.
that's right. And I think you told me that during the pandemic, you had to kind of support on site a little more than you had previously been doing or needed to do, which even
Well,
more so opened your eyes to all that's, just a good reminder, I guess.
a big defining moment in my life where I truly changed. The fire that I had inside of me kind of grew because I got the honor, and I call it an honor now, to have to be on site during the pandemic. And this is not negative towards anybody that worked from home during the pandemic. Our industry did what it needed to do to keep everybody as safe as possible.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to have a lease up during COVID, and so I had to be on site. I didn't have a choice. And so it gave me the opportunity to have to stay there and not remove myself to operate from my home or operate from I had to be with them. And so I was face to face with, there was no time to be scared. We did not have time we all had to just keep going. And in the meantime, we had to keep up with all of these messages that we were getting. Do this, do that, don't do this, do that, do this, do that. Again, nothing negative. We were all trying to protect. We were all trying to do the best we could with the little information we had. And so
Right.
respect to everybody. But I got the honor of being with the on-site teams. And because of that, I have now post-pandemic what some people do not have, and that is relevance. Because we are dealing with a different employee and a different customer post-pandemic than we had pre-pandemic. And so I just feel so honored to have that relevance and to be able to keep my focus on, again, supporting the on-site teams, which in fact support our industry. So
Right. Well, and kind of along with that, I'm not sure you're seeing the comments. If you click on the upper right of your screen, it says comments.
I'm not.
You'll
I'm on
see people making some
Chris and John. Oh my gosh. So I opened it up and saw two of the most special people to me in my entire world. So
nice.
Aww.
Do they currently work with you, or there's people you've known?
One does, and the other works for Asset Living as a regional. But I have worked with both of them directly, and they are family. Oh my gosh, I love you too. He's gonna make me cry because I really love him.
Well, that's great. And Sabrina, somebody else just popped
Yes, I worked with her too. Oh my gosh, y'all, we could spend the whole rest of this time just me. Just me. See.
No, it's awesome to have people jump on here and give some love and support. It's the best thing about this.
It is. Yes. I have been so lucky to again, back to this industry. Like we have a really rare industry that We are all so connected. And like you and I were talking before we jumped on about Alyssa that we both know, it's just such a small world. And if we don't know each other, we know somebody that knows both of us. And
Yeah.
there's so much connections and so much love.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and to kind of share that. So Alyssa Adams, she works for the same company you do. She's a regional, correct? And
Yes.
she came from Washington State. I don't know her well, but she got an award the same year I got an award back in 2019, I think, for 2018. I think it was recognition. And for me, it was Industry Partner of the Year. For her, I believe it was like Property Manager of the Year. Before, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was a good recognition, whatever it was. And then she moved to Texas. So
we got her.
You guys get her. So, but
awesome.
But it is one of those industries where once you're in it and you stay for a while, you definitely become more aware of, yes, big but small, right? It is so easy to kind of go around and be like, oh wait, I do know you, and you're in a different market or whatever it is. So people are always moving around, moving to different companies. So it is fun in that way for sure. Most definitely.
For sure.
Well, there actually is a question before we move on. So Brian Brewer, he just wanted to know from you things you've learned or things you can inspire people with to get into this industry. And then there's a follow-up there too. So what kinds of things can you share that might be an encouragement to people that are wondering about this as a career?
Well, it's okay. So there's so many different facets of this industry. And I think that's where it used to be that you had to come in as a leasing agent and kind of work your way up to manager and then, go to the corporate office. And I feel like that some companies I'm kind of watching from the sidelines. Obviously the one that I'm with, Valiant, I've just mind blown at the different opportunities and the different areas, all of the different jobs that we have at our company. And I'm seeing other companies do the same thing where we're hiring people straight out of college to come into a role, maybe at the corporate office. And that used to be something that we couldn't really do because you want people at the corporate office to have relevance to what's happening on site.
Yeah.
And you want the on-site team to understand all the facets of operations before they come to the corporate office. And I am seeing, some openness to that and moving people around. And, I hope that continues because I think that sometimes someone that's really good at leasing apartments might be able to move straight into a marketing role. Or, she doesn't have to work her way up through property management manager to that. But there's just so many different avenues. I will say, if you want to be on site, you really have to have empathy for people. You really have to have a heart for people, for your own sake, for your own peace of mind. But especially today in the world that we live in, people are super sensitive. They're all going through hard, we're all going through stuff. We all have stuff that we're going through. And so when you're dealing with someone's home, you get a very elevated level of them. It's different than if they go in 7-Eleven and you don't have the Slurpee they want. When they're coming to their home and some mishap happens, the emotional level can be a little bit higher. So if you don't have a love for people, you're not going to enjoy some of the struggles that our on-site teams go through. But if you do have a heart for people and you do have that empathy, and I'm not saying you have to have over the top empathy, but if you do have that empathy, it is so rewarding to be able to change someone's day around, make someone's day better. Sometimes, you're their sounding board. We have watched so many people go through so many things. And, even if we don't get close with our customers on site, we do get close with our employees, and it's just very tight bonding. It's very, very rewarding. I didn't always appreciate this industry until probably the last 15 years of it. And to look back now and just know how it shaped everything about me. That spills down to my children and my family and my loved ones. And so it's just a very rewarding career to have the opportunity to be a part of where people live and how sacred that is for them. And then we saw through COVID, they were there. They were always there. And we got even closer with people. Some we maybe not wanted to, but we definitely learned psychology and how to deal with difficult situations. But on the flip side, incredible situations, celebrations.
Yeah.
You have a resident that's having a baby. You have a resident that's you cycle through a lot of different celebrations. And so I hope I answered his question, but I just think that it's not for everybody. The industry is, I've seen people come in and just not do well at it. But it was an opportunity given to many of us that we just cherish and are so appreciative of everything that we learned from everybody that we worked with.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on. Like, you have to like people and a diversity of people, because you don't, 100% you can't fair housing, right? Like, you can't say, hey, you can't live here. So you have to be a person that is curious about others and have some emotional intelligence and have some empathy and and so many people just come into the office to chat. I don't know if I'm assuming that's still a thing. Maybe it's started to be a thing again. People are,
oh, for sure. People have a need to be heard and seen. I think that's just human nature.
yeah.
And I think that, you have to every day, and this falls back to how I self-motivate and why I dance and why I do some of the things that I do to keep me energized, because it's so important to me. There are things that are in me and many others that I know where we are hype people. We love to hype people up, and we almost feel like it's a responsibility to see somebody that just needs a rah-rah, a cheerleader in their life. And if you don't know how to self-motivate and keep getting that daily, it's not easy to keep up with that energy level that's required to, I've been accused of being fake. I've been accused of, I've been accused of everything, but consistently, I have a love for people, and nobody can ever take that away from me. And that love for people and my need to hype people up and bring out the best that I can see in somebody is what motivates me to every day to keep going and every day to show up for them. And so it all kind of works together. And I think our industry needs more hype people. And I think we have a lot of hype people in our industry that are beaten down right now. And if we can hype them back up, they can keep hyping. It's just this energy that we've got to light back on fire again. And I think a lot of it has to do with the pandemic, and a lot of it has to do with what we all went through and what we all saw and how we're dealing with it. Just because it's over doesn't mean we're not still dealing with some of the fear that we had and some of the things that we suppressed. And so
Yeah.
I hype people up because I see something in them that's great, but I also hope that they turn around and hype somebody up, and that it just keeps going.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think if we have the right people in place, right? Hopefully they respond well to the positive encouragement that you're providing, and not only so if they're a community manager, hopefully that's how they're hyping up their people, their leasing agents and their maintenance people, and providing a positive environment where they can encourage people to do well in their job, but even maybe make this a full career, like for their whole life, right? So somebody that jumps in as a leasing agent may not think that this is where they're going to be their whole life, but we all know that's
And then it ends up.
Yeah, exactly.
You end up to be 53, and it was your whole life or most of your adult life. But then there's also the side to being on site where the difficult conversations, the critical conversations. And so, we see the greatness in others and we try to bring the greatness out, but then the rest is up to them. And so you also have to be willing to have those difficult conversations. Not everyone is in the right position. Not everyone is in the right place. Not everyone is at the right company. Not everyone is under the right person, the boss, whatever. And so it doesn't always work out. Just because I dance in the morning doesn't mean that every day turns out great and wonderful. There's also some difficult conversations that have to be had, and sometimes delivering that transparency and honesty to somebody, whether they like it in the moment or not, is we don't. I guess what I'm trying to say is we don't enable bad behavior by a smile and pumping positivity into everybody. And I think anybody that's ever worked for me will agree. I am a cheerleader, but when it's time to get serious, we're going to get serious, and we're going to work, and we're going to produce results. Because at the end of the day, we work for somebody, and we produce results. And yeah, we're going to have fun doing it, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to have laugh breaks. But it's not all giggles. Sometimes we do have to tell people no. We have to say, can't give everybody what they want just because they're threatening to give us a horrible Google rating, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But if
I think when you're leading being an encourager, they probably receive the serious a little better. Like they know you have their best interest at heart.
For sure. Yeah, I think, like being transparent and honest, and I don't know any other way to be, but I think people appreciate it. I think we're past the time where I think I don't know, we just don't have a lot. I just feel like life is short, and let's just say it. Let's just say what's going on, and let's just talk about it, and let's get through it, and collaborate.
Right.
Work together.
So you've talked about it already a little bit, but getting ready in the morning is a big part of what gets you going. It incorporates music for sure, but it also incorporates dance. And starting, what was it, in 2020? Was that when it all kicked off?
Okay, what year are we in right now? We're in 2024.
Well, 24, sorry. Oh gosh, getting ahead of myself.
So it hasn't been that long. I want to say it's been just a couple of years. So I may have, I want to say, February of 2025 will be 2 years of me consistently not leaving my house in the morning without dancing.
So what made you think, you know what, I'm going to start dancing every morning, and then eventually I'm going to just put it on for all to see?
Yes. Let's talk about it. So, so this actually started somewhere. So this probably was during the pandemic when I started getting on TikTok.
Okay.
And I'm not saying anything good or bad. Let's not make this about the platform, but
Sure.
the platform itself is just a bunch of creatives coming together and creating, whether it be acting, joking, but just real people, not stars, not celebrities, maybe telling jokes, dancing, and my feed. That's what my feed is. I can't speak for anybody else, but so it was, for me, it was a lot of dance over and over again. And I just started feeling better watching it. And I would watch it, and I felt like I would feel happy or I would feel sad or whatever. They were expressing themselves non-verbally. And after a while, it dawned on me why I liked it so much. I finally felt like I belonged. For my entire life, I felt different. My whole life, I felt like I didn't fit in. I felt like I really had to reel myself in, be more serious than I felt like being. I just didn't feel like I belonged in this world. And all of a sudden I did. And it just started this thing inside of me where, even though I really don't know any of these people, I felt like we were all each other's people. And I could have just danced on TikTok with that family. So I didn't start dancing then. I just started getting inspired to, because I just loved watching someone else do it. And then I started challenging myself to learn dances, which, if you've never learned a dance recently, just try it. It is so hard. You've got to use a part of your brain that I was not used to using, and
Part of my brain
memory and
I don't use.
and oh, also, one big thing about dance and why it's so changing to your spirit is you have to be present in the moment to dance. You cannot be in your head. You cannot be overthinking. You are forced to kind of just surrender control and move. And so I started dancing just around the house, and I was just one of those people that, I'm sure my husband was just thought, what are you doing? Because I always have my AirPods in, so he couldn't hear why I was dancing. And I could have just stayed on TikTok, but I felt like the platform on Facebook, I felt needed the shock.
Okay.
And I'm big on shock. I'm big on shock factor. I'm big on saying something that when it comes out of my mouth, people are like, did she really just say that out loud? But it just resets the group. And so I felt like I could be this shock factor, but more because of how it helped me. And so I thought, gosh, if somebody would have been on Facebook, and I know there were a lot of people left Facebook and went to TikTok. And so that whole group left. And so we didn't have a lot of creatives. We just had more of, just pictures and things like that, but not a lot of creativity. And so I went on there not only for shock factor, because I have this thing about critics that we can get in. We could do a whole show on how I feel about critics, but
call them out, right?
Yes. Can we start calling critics out? Because just because I'm on there, just because someone goes on a social platform and shows who they are, doesn't give somebody else the right to criticize them. Just move on. Just go on. And so that was part of my platform too, was I couldn't believe the number of people that felt it appropriate to tell me what they thought of me negatively.
Right.
But again, I'm a hype person. I don't go on Facebook to tell people what they're doing wrong. I go on there to see the best in others. And so I personally know that being authentic and being vulnerable takes a lot of bravery and a lot of courage. And sometimes you write something and you hit post, and it's just to get it off your chest and express yourself. And if you start getting criticized for it, you draw back in. Right when you're starting to come out of your shell and be who you are and be what the world needs you to be, an individual, authentic. And so I started dancing on Facebook. I love to perform. I love to make people happy. The biggest reaction was happiness, was you make me laugh. Girl, what are you doing? when I talk about critics, I'm talking about mean-spirited people. I've got loved ones and people that love me that are like, oh girl, and I love it. Like, come on, let's just do something crazy, do something silly, do something different. But I did not expect to get into the best fitness that I've ever been in. And I think it's just because I thoroughly enjoyed dancing. And so because I enjoyed it, I did it, for 30 minutes to an hour every morning consistently. My whole body transformed, but my spirit transformed. The joy that I had inside of me, the way that my mind worked, my creativity soared. I started seeing things differently. I started just being more positive in general for who I am and creativity. I just think the world, we've got the AI part of life down. It's the EI part of life, and it's the creativity that I feel like people just feel more like they belong when they see other people being brave and doing things outside of what is in the box that everybody feels like. And so it's more of an it's more of an energy shift. It's more of, if you don't like to dance, still use your creativity in some way. Use that part of your brain so that you can use both parts, and especially post-pandemic, where we need more patience with people. We need to treat people gentler. We need to treat ourselves more gentler, more gentle.
So do you miss a day of dancing? And do you miss a day of dancing and posting?
I do not post every day, even though I try to. It's kind of like a challenge that I have for myself to learn the dance and then also incorporate my own creativity in a dance. And there usually is I don't want to say usually, it's an expression. I am expressing myself. So it usually ties to something. And so there's that. I don't miss a morning without dance unless I'm not feeling well, and I rarely, knock on wood, I'm pretty healthy for the most part, but I don't always post. But I try to most days. If anything, just for consistency for me and challenging myself. And then also I feel like that I sometimes feel like that if I am the person that attracts the critics, they'll stay away from other people. So you're welcome.
There you go.
Making the world a better place.
Yeah. And so you've been doing the posting / dancing for roughly 2 years. What's, besides, getting in better shape, putting a smile on your own face and other people, what's been the hardest part about it?
Oh, as far as dancing is you don't expect, okay, so moving your body,
Mm-hmm.
dancing is just moving your body. And I went to, I'm going to try to make this story short because I know we're getting close to time, but I went to a chiropractor a couple of years ago, maybe more. I was in a skiing accident, where I, totally plowed, like totally. I lost poles, skis, everything. Not serious, just but my pride was hurt. Everybody was like clapping on the ski lift. It was like one of those kind of accidents.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I hit my hip really hard. And so I tried to get over it on my own. I wasn't dancing at this point. But I've always loved fitness. And so I went to a chiropractor, and he did his whole head to toe type thing. And he asked me, when he was done, he set me up and he said, "What's wrong with you?" And I looked at him, I was like, "Nothing, my hip." And he said, "No, what's really wrong with you?" And the way that he made eye contact with me, I started to tear up, but in a really weird, like inside way. Like I knew that if I started crying, I wouldn't stop. Like it was that kind of heavy tears were about to come. And I said, nothing's wrong with me. And he's like, no, I see that you pretend like everything's okay. And you're this cheerleader. He said, you walked in here and you're trying to cheer me up. He said, but your body doesn't lie. Your body is in a state of fear. And he said, the whole time I was working on your body, I felt like you were about to fight me. Okay, this is not funny. It's not funny. I never threw any punches.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just was trying to say that my body was holding a lot.
Mm.
And so anyway, he told me to, that I needed to, that even if my mind knew, because I was like, I've been to therapy, I've worked on myself, blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling him all this stuff. And he's like, I know, but your body doesn't know that yet. And so he was like, come up with he gave me some recommendations and I did them. He gave me like a strength ball to work out the knots in my back. And then I started having like deep level massages and just really learning about how your body holds tension and trauma and sensitivity. And so what dancing did that I didn't expect it to do is when you start moving your hips and you start doing some of the moves that you need to do, it's telling your body, I'm going to be okay. Like I'm giving up control. And so every day I was telling my body, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. Like this is going to be okay. And you're kind of surrendering because again, you can't be in your head and dance at the same time. You have to kind of give up control and look stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I still look stupid today, Dan. I know it. But I respect myself for, never giving up. And you just give up all of that care of what you think about yourself. And so I didn't expect some of the healing. I didn't expect some of the intense healing from moving my body over a long period of time.
Wow.
And my body reacted that way. I'm calmer now. I don't drink at all. I used to drink heavily. I have not had a sip of alcohol in over 2 years. I just cope differently. I have self-worth. I have boundaries. Just developed a lot of self-worth, which I know it sounds crazy because some people think dancing on Facebook is, what is she doing? Why is she doing that? But dance is actually a beautiful, it's just a beautiful form of expression. So I'm not going to stop.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing that it's been an outlet for you to even just to actually work on yourself beyond your physical self, that it's actually been a healing, a way to heal, because there's so much we go through in life.
Life is hard. Life is so hard. And I think that's why I get so like a mama bear when I see people being mean to, I'm not talking about we all have bad days. I'm talking about malicious. I'm talking about malicious intent. Life is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, we just, why would anybody go on a social platform and see somebody doing something, and just because you didn't agree with it, tell them they're wrong? Or it's always going to be.
If anything, it tells you there's something going on in their life that isn't good. You know what I mean?
And on that point, a trigger is a really good thing. And so I think that's also, being triggered is the beginning of healing in yourself. And so if you've ever gone on Facebook and you've seen me dance, or you've seen somebody doing something and it angered you, somebody being true to themselves angered you,
and being
it's
joyful,
just a trigger that it's to point you in the direction of that you're just upset you're upset that you're not living your truth, and that we all should take steps to live our own truths and stand up for our own truths, but it shouldn't anger you.
Right.
That's always a sign that
there's something going
that there's
on.
inner work.
Oh yeah, you got something happening in here that you need to work on. That is 100% true. Like if you Yeah, it's sad though. There's a lot of it, and it's not obviously bringing positive anything to the world. There's one thing. I mean, there's a time and a place I think for disagreement with, like, if somebody makes a statement and it's open for dialogue, like they're obviously wanting that. That's one thing. But like, you are dancing to bring joy. I don't think that's open for negativity.
Yeah, I mean, and I heard I've said it before, and I've heard people say it. I just have changed my opinion on it now. Well, if you put yourself out there, you're open to criticism. It doesn't make it right. Like
No.
it just let people be. Leave them where you found them, and your inner circle, the people that know you, they can call me out.
Yeah.
Um, they know everything about me. They know my intentions. But if I don't know, I don't scroll social media to disagree. I truly see the best in everyone until they prove me wrong. And so I just think that all of our, it's building community. And so if
Right.
that's not the community for you, then just keep moving
Move it
to the
along.
community that is for you. And I think collaboration is where mature disagreement happens, and
Yeah. Well, and
nobody changed anybody's opinion by, you know, I, we can
yeah.
talk all
I
day.
I never have understood this kind of stuff, because like you wouldn't talk to people you care about like that. Well, at least I hope not.
Well, some people
Um
do,
that's
so
yeah, 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 yeah.
that's probably part of the problem.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
we're all just trying to get by. Everybody's got their own story. Everybody's got their reasons. We all go through stuff.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I kind of draw the line. I think I see myself many years ago where I thought I did something wrong, or I thought they had a right to tell me I shouldn't feel that way. And so those are the people that I look out for, because I feel like they've got like something inside of them that the world just needs. Like they've got this beautiful, sensitive heart inside of them, and this light. And I really, I really enjoy seeing that light get brighter.
That's great. So, serious question. Have you led your team in learning dances?
Oh, well, yes. So at Valiant, every time we do a takeover or transition, every time we get a new property, I've got a high five move where there's a guy here that he goes, "Is that all you do, is do high fives at takeovers?" But he's saying it he's saying it in a funny way, because he knows I do more. But so we have that we try to have that fun high five. And my district manager, she said that one day about me. It was like a checkoff. We had a checkoff list, a transition list. And one of the things that I had tasked us to do was, once the sale closes, we had to take pom-poms and do like a cheer. And I hadn't told her about it, but she's so good at like reading ahead at what's coming next that I saw her hit that part. She looked over at me and said, you're doing this, right? Like, you're not going to make me do this, right? But then my teams that I had prior, yes. Ugh, I miss y'all.
Oh, that's
We
awesome.
we worked hard, play hard, and yes, they taught me dances.
Oh
Some of
gosh.
them were my inspiration.
There's so many dances out there. Obviously on TikTok it's like the thing, right? So people are constantly, viral dances are going around and all that kind of stuff. And
Well, yeah, and don't forget, we had 5 minutes, and you agree to work your hips out
I did. I
before.
did. I did.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So I do have one more question around
Okay.
dancing. What have you had any videos really blow up? Do you know how many views, like, you on, like, roughly what some of your videos have
Okay,
gotten?
I had this one blow up, and it was gosh, I hate to even say this. Okay, but it was this really attractive guy.
Okay.
And you can duet a dance. And
Okay.
he's just sitting there. So he's sitting there, but you can duet a video where you come in the side. And so one of my prior managers made me a like a what's that called with all the little belly dance skirt.
Okay.
And so I was trying to learn to belly dance. And so I made it look like I was doing it for him. And he is like a major influencer, crazy big on TikTok. And I tagged him in it and he liked it. And then it kind of blew up. I was so
Nice.
excited.
That's funny.
And then I'm trying to think. There was one at the Cowboy game, of course. That's gonna blow up. Is the Dallas Cowboys I think they were having a good season that year.
Mm,
But
yeah,
I
she is a
really
Cowboys fan, guys.
I
I
put all
know.
my time into Facebook, really. More so. I do my dances on TikTok, but then it's more for my Facebook platform.
Gotcha. Just they have better editing, I'm assuming, music and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, awesome. Okay.
But it's Darcy Share on TikTok if you want to go check out the hot guy.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I'm sure she may not want to post it here, but if you want to get connected with her and see the positivity she's doing each day, I'm sure she'd love to get you in on that.
It's public. Facebook is public. Come
Yeah.
on, come on.
Yep. Nice. All right. So Darcy, it is the hour, the end of the hour, and it is time for you to share with me your dance moves. So
Okay.
I'm
I
gonna put
encourage
this
everybody
back.
else. I encourage everybody. Y'all can do this in your office.
Everybody get up.
You can see. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you my signature move
Okay.
because it really works out the hips. Gosh, I'm sorry, Valiant. I'm gonna make y'all proud right now. Okay. And then, so I want you to put 1 foot forward, one leg
Okay.
forward. You can't really see me.
1 foot forward. Got it.
One leg forward,
Okay.
your toes in front.
Okay.
I'm gonna tuck this shirt in so you can really see the hip movement.
That's true.
And you're just gonna sit back into it. Sit back into it.
Sorry,
And just
everyone.
really work that. Yes, work that hip out. Work that hip out. Almost like you're putting out a cigarette, but I don't condone smoking. But if you did smoke,
so twist that toe a little bit.
yeah,
Okay.
fake cigarettes. You like that? See?
Love it.
If you do that for a long period of time,
That was already tiring.
rotate hips. You don't want to become unaligned. You want your whole body to stay in alignment. So rotate hips, rotate feet.
I'm sure, you know what? If I did that every day, I would definitely become more loose in the hips. And being that I sit predominantly all day long, I probably could use that.
I'm gonna check in on you later. I'm gonna come find you and make you do a dance with me.
Okay. All right. I mean, I got kind of a dance floor in here. You know, I got plenty of space in my office now. So we got 10 by 12 and there's not much in here, just a little chair and my desk and my backdrop, but otherwise plenty of room for dancing.
Work the floor.
That's right. That's awesome.
Oh, you've been awesome. Thank you. I appreciate this.
Yeah, no, it's been so fun. I'm so glad that you agreed to jump on. I slid into her DMs, you guys, and she was like, well, because you know she's on Facebook, so a lot of people, probably not nice people, send her messages, and she tends to not answer them, which I understand. But I send her a message like, "Hey, I'd love to have you as a guest," and it took a while. I was persistent though.
It did. But
Yeah.
I'm glad. I had a feeling that you were legit.
Yeah. So it was all very respectful, I promise. So again, just so glad you did say yes. Darcy, just like she jumped in and jumped onto Boss Talks. In the new year, in 2025, you too can. Like, this is literally a platform for you, for everybody. I love to elevate the bosses of this industry and give people an opportunity to share why they're a boss, why they're awesome. And I don't mean boss like bossy. I mean like you kick butt, right? You're awesome. You do well at what you do. You have a story to tell, and you have some great tips and insights to share with those that are your peers, and those that could learn from you. So I'm big on that. So if you want to jump in on this, reach out to me. We'll make it happen. I have a few guests starting out the new year lined up, but I've got plenty of slots available. They're on. So let's make it happen. So
Awesome. Well, thank you for
everybody,
doing what you do. I love your show. I appreciate it.
well, I appreciate that. And it's the end of 2025. So I'll see you next year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and have a good time. Be safe, because I want to see you in the new year, and we'll make it happen. I don't know if are you and others, maybe if you're going to be at Apartmentalize in Vegas this year or next year, I guess. I'm going to be there, so make sure you reach out to me. I have a little thing I do called Boss Brunch that brings people together, especially those that have been on the show. So I'd love to have you be a part of that, whomever you are. And Darcy, if you're going to be there, I'd love to have you there too.
Yay.
So again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.
Next year. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate. Take care.